Henry.
Cool. He's not going to have a press conference like this in Ulster, that's for sure. Okay. Thanks, guys. Live from the stands at Benetton Creating Stadium. We've got load shedding during the game tomorrow as well.
Have we?
Yeah. Cool. We've got one guy here. Gavin, I don't know if you want to kick us off.
Okay. I mean, I suppose it's a bit more what you've got. I mean, you want to give guys game time ahead of the playoff series.
Exactly that. Look, the other reason, Gavin, is we've a little bit with the Ruanel thing is we are thin there. You know what I mean? There's not an obvious. So if we want to try and keep one of them dry, you know, so I don't see Ruan necessarily getting. We want to give Bromma game time for that reason, but also protect one of the. We are definitely a different team with when they're not playing Ruan or Dan. It's important.
Cool. And then the other thing you see, you obviously want to avoid playing a South African team in the quarterfinal.
Yeah, we prefer to play an overseas team just for the reason that home teams win on the international terror. Yeah.
Want them to come from
100% right.
And then the one thing I just noticed, I was actually going to ask you about this afterwards, just that playing Currie Cup games against the Bulls next week, and it's just possible that you might play a quarterfinal the following week. It could be quite interesting.
Yeah, I think so. Look, I think we've got a plan with the Currie Cup, but I mean, we don't know what. Last time we played them in the Currie Cup, it was their full URC team. I don't know if they do that 2 weeks. If we're playing 2 weeks in a row in the same venue, it's going to be interesting. That.
But I mean, I mean, obviously, you guys will be supporting Connacht on Saturday night. If they win, unfortunately, then they put the Sharks out. Well, they don't. The Sharks win against Munster. But I mean, Connacht. You'd rather have Connacht come down.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been a big Connacht. No, of course, as I think you phrased it, anybody coming from there is a disadvantage. We know ourselves, so that would be that's our first prize there. But I'm right. It could be any of the South African teams, or Connacht, or Munster. Those four, just one of those four.
On the province team, obviously try to keep as much continuity as possible. There's one change in the forwards, and all those backline changes are basically enforced. Hoping to see them build from last week.
Yeah, I thought last week was a good performance. Just disappointing outcome, you know, because the Cheetah side's really strong at Currie Cup level, you know, and so I thought up until the 70th minute, I think we gave away that one where that Sasha went for the drop, and we never recovered from that. I thought it was a really good performance, but you're right, it's all injury enforced. Suleiman is fasting and was in doubt, so he couldn't really train with the URC. We wanted to give Angela Davis a chance, so that was a slightly voluntary one, but the rest was forced in.
Just so I could go back to the again, it was something I was going to ask you afterwards, but I'll ask you now. Because you mentioned last week, my ears pricked up when you mentioned that Steven you were hoping he was going to be playing his last game for the Stormers on the 18th of June. Does that mean are the Springboks going to be playing in the Currie Cup? I mean, will you be using Stormers players at that stage?
Yeah, cheapest. I think if I said that,
18th of June was the date of the final last year, so maybe that's why.
Okay, I beg your pardon. No, Steve finishes with the URC on the. Okay. Or whatever date in May that is, but so after Currie Cup afterwards, obviously the Springbok guys won't play, and then we'll bring in some Stormers. Yeah, definitely.
So the Springboks won't be playing.
Yeah,
because I had a thing with Thomas yesterday. He wasn't sure.
No, definitely not. Unless there's a request from SA Rugby, like let's say because Dion's missed X amount of weeks, that Dion gets another. That's only I'd imagine if we got knocked out in the quarterfinal, maybe there are a couple of guys. Barney might need more. I don't know, but these guys definitely not.
Speaking of Dion, is definitely on track for the quarterfinal.
Yeah, 100%. In fact, they decided they didn't even need to, which is really good news this morning. They didn't even need to rescan him, so they've cleared him for the quarter. So he could even play. He could have played next week, but that would be silly. You know what I
mean?
Yeah, he could play Currie Cup next week. Yeah. So it's a nice roster. We'll have unless we do injuries tomorrow. It's actually tomorrow. It'll be quite a nice roster. I mean, I think we've really missed Zassi in terms of punch. You know what I mean? And the offloads playing off him, the way he holds the ball up, and we missed him a lot. So
just looking at the Currie
and the defense.
Just going back to the just going back to the Currie Cup, to say my mind's sort of flying because I don't think anybody's spoken to you since Cade's unfortunate thing. I mean, that must be. I mean, it's a huge blow for him, but also probably a blow for your club afterwards.
See, Oscar, it was a horrible injury. I went down just across there screaming. And I think he knew straight away. I think once you've had that, and it's also other ligaments, it's going to be a tough journey for him back. Yeah. And he was just getting his lack of sort of stormers this season was just been. We played him in Gerberga in the he was underconfident. You know, he was just getting his confidence back, wasn't he? And he's starting to flatten up because he was very deep. And when he started, I think he's going to struggle now.
Just for me quickly, Paul the Vet's 50th. We've had quite a few 50th this season already. That's quite encouraging that like guys are sticking around and you bringing them through from juniors to now experienced players.
Yeah, I think, you know, I don't sort of necessarily describe it as most captain, but there's no doubt cohesion. And if you look at the amount of, you know, that Leinster team that we played that night we drew like, I know it says Leinster B and Leinster C here. I don't know what it is, but there were 2,000 caps. Our challenge now is to keep them into the hundreds. You know, that's what we really need to do in South African rugby. You know, and that's such. But it's great. It's great. I mean, because guys like you, Dan Doop, Netlin, those are guys. Ernst and not necessarily frontline stormers. To have 50 caps in your sort of bench or something is magic. Yeah.
Cool. If there's anyone on Zoom with a question, stick your hand up. Good. Yeah. Yes, Jan, go for it.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, John. Thank you, Stephen. John, if we can look at tomorrow's game, I mean, obviously, you need to get into playoff mode. You go into playoff mode tomorrow, or do you just keep playing what you normally play? Because, I mean, obviously, in the knockouts, it's a very different game. You don't need 5 points. You don't need tries. Does that change your mindset?
No. Tomorrow we're playing normal. I think the important thing was us to get back to who we are. You know, we've lost 2 games in a row, which isn't ideal for us. So we just want to be ourselves and sort of reconnect and get some confidence back. It's very, very opportune down week next week. That's really useful for us, you know, given that we played that, just what's happened in the last few weeks in terms of demands and the reduced training time. So I think tomorrow is just we want to just feel good about ourselves again and how we're playing and where we are as a team. That's the most important thing for tomorrow. And then we'll actually deload the guys quite a bit next week, just freshen us up, and then go, as you say, into playoff mode for the quarterfinal.
The break, will that impact on your momentum at all?
Oh, we haven't got it. We haven't got momentum at the moment, but no, we want to get. That's exactly what we want, Jan. We want to get some momentum. No, we'll do the yards, the physical yards that we need. I think it's actually quite an up week in terms of how much sort of high speed distance we need next week. So to get ourselves really conditioned for the quarterfinal. So I don't think we'll lose, but when I say deload, meetings and training venue and try and freshen the week up a little bit, give the guys a long weekend this weekend, Monday off and that sort of things. But no, I don't think we'll. I just want us to go into this sort of week with confidence, having a really good performance of tomorrow night. That's very important for us. I think if we don't get that right, then 3 on the bounce or 3 iffy performances. I think most important thing, confidence and then freshness next week.
Cool. Next is Steven. Yes, Steven.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. How's it, guys?
Hi, Steve.
Dobbo, the one thing I did notice about Benetton, recently is that they took the Sharks well out of their comfort zone. I think they were quite effective in terms of carrying quite a dangerous team. What is the danger for you? Are you sort of concerned about getting sucked into a loose game or something like that? Or how do you size up the challenge against Benetton?
I think, obviously what's happened in the last 2 weeks, I think the Munster performance was much better than Exeter, but is that we've got to look at us, it was I'm not trying to give you a cliched answer, Steve, but the mistakes that we made, and that's what's probably our focus is. I know that from our experience in Treviso last year, when Benetton get on the front forward with Diewies's box kicks, Diewold Duvenach's box kicks, and they get on their double kicking game, that's a threat to us. We know Rainer Smith's a counter-attacking threat. But I've got no doubt that if we just get back to who we are and connect, I'm not too concerned with what Benetton bring. I'm really not dismissing it. I'm just saying the real challenge for us is to be better at what we do. I'm convinced our game model, we know it, and it's the right model to do well in the URC. So that's what I want to see implemented tomorrow.
I see Skara isn't in the province squad. Can you just give an update on him, please?
I'm allowed to say. It's a secret or not?
What's happening?
Skara's having well, not Skara, but Skara's partner is having a baby. So he's on compassionate leave. But he'll be I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh, but it's great for Skara. But he'll be with us tomorrow, warming up with us and covering us. But he just couldn't travel to Nelspruit.
And sorry, Dobber, I just didn't hear well earlier. You said Zas will be all right for the quarters.
Yeah, he might play some Currie Cup next week. See, we'll make a decision on that, but he's fine for the quarters.
Okay. Steve, Dobber said about getting back to who you are. What do you think you need to do?
No, I think it's 2 tough games in a row. It's never nice losing 2 in a row. So for us, it's just to play towards our strengths, get our game model going, imposing ourselves onto Benetton. I think that's will give us a bit of confidence and momentum going into the business end. So it's just for us to put up a good performance again. Not that our performance was as bad as we thought against Munster. I think those 2 early tries took a bit of wind out of ourselves, but it's just getting back to Stormers' ways and actually playing teams, high work rate, intensity, and all breakdowns in the way we actually play. So it's just getting back to what people are used to seeing of the Stormers, pretty much.
I must say, Steve, we're looking forward to playing on this field. We felt like last week we didn't Munster deserve to win the game, but we felt that the field hurt us a bit where we thought we had a scrum opportunity against them, and there was just this is a different surface, which is going to be quite exciting for us, in terms of imposing ourselves, like Steve says.
Yeah, it helps that there isn't a team playing on it before you. So, Steve, the other thing is, you guys always put on a pretty brave face. I suppose it's a psychological thing about traveling and so on, back and forth. But the reality is it was a tough challenge for you guys to Exeter and back. How much better do you feel now, this week? And also, given that you're also going to have a week off, not playing in the, not going further in the Champs League. So how important can this be for you in terms of performance against Benetton, and then also, the week off for going forward?
No, it is. It's travel does take a lot out of you, and you try and, as you said, put up a brave face and try and still put up a great performance. But just, for example, this week we had a full Monday, Tuesday, compared to probably the weeks before that, where we maybe had one training day or half a training day, trying to fix everything from the previous weekend. So I think just time on field, time together as a team, more times for meetings and actually figuring rugby stuff out. I think it was much better, and there's more time in prep. So it does give you a lot of confidence going into a rugby game on the weekend.
Do you think, given how many opportunities that you guys have still created, do you think it's wrong to see as the Stormers having had a little bit of a slump? I mean, given that you still have created those opportunities as you normally do.
No, I think the guys are still like unbelievable rugby players in the way they ID space and the way they play, tackle, make turnovers, live off scraps. So still getting those opportunities. I must say credit to Munster for holding us out for 10 minutes just after half time. I think that was a big changing factor, had a big influence on the end result of the game. So I think the guys still play what they see, and I think execution sometimes go out the window when you don't have preparation time. But credit to the guys. They still try and play, try and create, play the game that everyone's got used to.
Thank you. Cheers, guys.
Cool.
Cheers.
Stephen, Gavin, you had another question?
I'm just going to ask Stephen, from memory, I think the Stormers have only played twice here, and Dion was captaining against Zebra last year, and the other game clashed with your rugby championship game against Argentina. So it's your first time that you're playing here. What are you looking forward to? It'll be your only time that you ever play here as a Stormers captain. Everybody always talks about the vibe, and that's here. Are you looking forward to that?
No, 100%. Just sitting here and looking at this view and like all the memories that Stellenbosch bring back as a schoolboy. Yeah. So yeah, I'm really excited, and I think it's going to be an occasion. To be honest, like all the students vibe, it's going to be loud. So really looking forward to it. Yeah.
We've got a lot of old Marties in the team as well, just by chance. There's Nathan, JJ, Paul. Right, Lloyd, you have a question. Go for it.
Thanks, Mike. Morning, gents. Dobbo, sorry, back to Cade, but obviously a rap one. And given how young he is and how much hype and how highly rated he is, just from a developmental point of view, as a coach, when you look at that, how concerning is it given the stage of the career when you get a long injury like that? Can it be damaging to the development and the progress and the momentum of where the player was, and then just what Cade's mindset is like, and what the kind of message has been from you to him?
Okay. Yeah, Lloyd, I think it's a really tough one. It's tough for everybody. I think, the medical staff were almost upset by it as well. It was one of those horrible injuries where, the kid was in tears. I think he knew as he went down, obviously knew he'd done his ACL, but I think he knew the consequences, because he got him, you get a 9-month return. And then I think it's taken, since August, so 7 months to get him back to where almost, the level we wanted him at. And this is going to be longer, because it's been the 9 months, but there's no ways he'll get his confidence back in 7 months after that, it's going to be a tough one for him to come back on. Just in terms, he's going to be just natural, he's going to be worried, and his confidence will take a long time. But one thing I did say to him straight, once he settled down a bit in the medical room, was he mustn't worry about Western Province or his contract or anything like that. The guy's only 3 years out of school. He's 21 years old. Yeah, it's all been sort of compressed, 1 year, green and gold. What was that competition we played? Super Rugby Unlocked and Rainbow Cup. Yeah, Rainbow Cup. And then a year out for ACL and another year out for ACL, but he's going to be 22. And I think what we must just do when you get him back is give him all the time in the day, whether that is playing, club rugby or anything, to get his confidence, whatever tournaments we're playing, feel his confidence and take all the time we need to. Because he's a massive talent, jeepers. So we'll keep him here and just give him all the time he needs.
Nice one.
Thanks, Bob. I appreciate that.
Go for it, Leighton.
Thanks, Mike. Hi, Dobbo. Stephen. Hopefully my connection is not terrible. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. Thanks, Jets. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Dobbo, after that Sandy Park game, you said you had exercised some of your ghosts, but against Munster, there was a bit of some poltergeist still left there. Have you guys sorted everything out, especially with the mall defense and those defensive reads this week? Did you have enough time to do that?
Yeah, I think look, it was a short week still because of the Friday game. So we're here Monday, Tuesday. Kitsy can speak to the mall defense. I think, we probably brought in Angelo just to shore up that side. Suleiman's 19 years old, first years out of school. Teams are, I know, I'm not speculating. I spoke to them afterwards, targeted him up on those reads. So we probably want to shore that up and give him a bit more confidence. I think the other stuff, there wasn't too much wrong with our process. Missed kicks in the field, which sound really trite and obvious, and not trying to make excuses, had an impact on the outcome. I thought we were much better on the kicking game stuff. I thought the kicking game was actually really good. The stuff that we missed in Exeter, around that was fixed. You want to talk about the more, do you, Steve?
Yeah, I think conceding 2 more tries is a no-go for us. So really worked hard. Even like Monday, it's normally like our recap day, but it came into the training session and came up with nice solutions. So I truly believe that the guys are on par now and all aligned, job-wise. So now it's just a bit of attitude on the weekend to actually stop them all.
And then just Dobbo, for you, Steven, as well. What will be vital is definitely to start better than the last 2 weeks. I know I've asked you this last week, but definitely vital to start better than.
No, I think a good start is never. It's not something you can always predict, but you can always start with intensity and work rate. So it is unfortunate if there's like a knock on and there's an intercept and team scores a quick try. You can never predict that, but you can predict the way the guys pitch up and bring intensity into the game. So that's the only thing we're asking for from the team, is to bring intensity from minute one and not wait for something to happen. Almost try and go out and impose themselves onto the opposition from minute one.
Thank you, guys.
Is Justin? Yes, Justin.
Thanks, Mikey. Steven, net kortliks vir jou in Afrikaans asseblief as jy nie omgee nie. Net jou verwagtinge van die span as die leier van die span môre aand om hopelik weer eens terug te kan kom om oorwinning te kan kry nadat die twee nederlae die verlede 2 weke.
Ja, ek dink net van my kant af is ek wil net weer Stormers so amper so 'n spectacle of 'n Stormers game plan wat uitgevoer word volgens ons standaarde. So ons om môre aand uit te kom, lekker rugby te speel, intensiteit te wys, ja, en hopelik vir Benetton onder baie druk te hou is maar een van die groot dinge wat ons aan gewerk het die week en waar ons gepraat het. So ja, ons wil net uitkom, lekker rugby speel, goeie oorwinning kry en hard werk om hopelik terug te kom na die tweede plek van die URC log. Dit sou kan stel.
Cool, guys. Then we got Nathan before we go back to you again.
Good day, gentlemen. I'm Kitsy and Dobbo. I'll start with you, Kitsy. Kitsy, a video a couple of weeks ago circulated the internet whereby Uncle Chippy brought out a case with a rip-off version of the Shield. How much will it mean for you guys, Kitsy, to lift that trophy off the round-robin stage? Can you just reflect on the URC season thus far?
Yeah, I think 100% being the best South African team, it's something that is spoken about in the beginning of the season, and retaining that shield is massive. So it just comes down to week in and week out performances. And I think we did a great job, especially in the beginning and towards the middle end. Got a couple of amazing wins. So a lot of credit to Dobbo and his management staff for actually driving the guys to put up performances. And for us, it's one step towards the playoffs for us. So to secure the shield again, and then going into the playoffs and hopefully going all the way to get the trophy again. So it's just a summary of hard work and constant performance to actually get that trophy. So it's been amazing.
Then my final one, Dobbo, can you just sum up where do you think things aren't going well-ish at the moment for you guys? I'm sure you had time now to reflect, especially from that Harlequins game to date. I think Steven Null or Gav mentioned a slump in performance.
Yeah, look, as I said, I thought some of our kicking game was poor in Exeter. If we stuck to the plan there, I think we could have got something. I think that even if Stevens try, the obstruction one had stood at 28, look, unlikely. But yeah, 28-17, the Stormers are known for that. So it's tough play. It was a tough place to go and play that one. So, but we made mistakes. We made mistakes there. And I'll tell you something. But in fact, I'd love to have lost there 41-42. I think we got the perfect outcome in terms of there's no ways we're ready for or capable of going to La Rochelle next week and then coming back and doing a URC. So the best thing was to get the host of that last 16 was to go and have one of those experiences like we had at Exeter, to realize the importance of playing at home in the Heineken Cup, because we were one bonus point in Clermont, one penalty away from where we could have gone, and if we got that point, we would have hosted the quarterfinal. But we were certainly beyond us to go. So the Exeter thing, the defeat wasn't a bad thing. The scoreline was just something that irked, and the mistakes we made around the kicking game. And I'm not talking about just the execution of kicks, wasn't Steve? It was the It was the work off the ball, the bubbles, I get too technical, the wedging and that sort of stuff. I think last week was a much better performance. And I think you've all been, you've been to Stormers games where we score the fourth try after the whistle and win that 28-19 or something like that, a lot of our process was right. I think we really battled in the conditions, but that sounds like an excuse. And certainly the more defense cost us. And Steve's right, and I think something about the start, 14-0 down is against a team like Munster, who are absolutely desperate to qualify for Europe and stay in, and with Conor Murray's kicking game. It was tough, but I think we created enough opportunities to win it. And so I'm not thinking it's a massive slump. There's just a couple of areas to get right. Kicking game after Exeter, which I think we got right last week. Certainly more defense this week.
Thanks, guys. Good luck tomorrow.
Thanks very much.
Dobson, sorry, this is just one question I was going to ask you is, I know that you could still have a home run because Ulster could lose to Edinburgh. But has there been a sort of like a reset this week in the sense of you were on one path and now you're on other? And to me, when you guys were at full strength, you probably, because Stephen's not playing for them, you've probably got a team that can beat Ulster in Ulster. I mean, you went there a couple of weeks ago and you played with very understrength.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you've got that. I mean, is it some coaches would say, I can't remember which one it was, I was trying to think of it earlier this week, who says to be the best, you have to beat the best, and sometimes you have to beat the best at their own grounds. I mean, in a way, it's almost like more of a challenge now, and maybe more of a challenge to embrace. He's not going to get a chance to play his last game in the semi-final at Cape Town Stadium, but maybe a chance to win away from home. And I mean, has there been... Sorry?
In Belfast as well.
Yeah, in Belfast. So, so is there maybe a positive reset in a way? You won it at home last year. Let's win it away this time.
Yeah, I think we had a chat. We said it was raining a grondpad. You know what I mean? We were off the highway. That was our own fault last week. No, but we've talked about that. And I honestly believe with every, our major threat could be a South African team in the quarterfinal, because those are just South African derbies at that, But to go to Ulster, in fact, you weren't there, were you? But we sat on the bus after that game, and there's nothing to be scared of here. Even though the score was 35-5. You remember we dominated that second half with really a weakened team. I mean, I'd have every confidence in going there. And we'd look. I actually think it'd be goodie for us because let's be honest. One thing about the Storm is and the Bulls came. I thought the Bulls did really well there a couple of weeks ago. They did very well. I think what we haven't. I'm so happy with lots of the season. Even if we were to disappear off in a quarterfinal, the way we've created the Shield so comfortably, the best team in South Africa, the depth, we've used the most players in the whole competition in the URC. And that was just to consolidate that last year wasn't a flash in the pan. So that side of things is really nice. But where we haven't got right, we've lost to Cardiff away, we've drawn to Ospreys, we've lost to Glasgow away. The Ulster one wasn't really, you could see that we weren't really going for that. We've lost to Exeter away. We've lost to Clermont away. So it actually would be a good opportunity in our growth to go and get something like that, like a away semi.
Would the draw in Ulster help you? I mean, in Leinster, should I say? Because, I mean, I know that
that was
say they were under strength, but they still Leinster.
That did help a lot, didn't it?
Just the confidence for playing away.
Because that was a good Leinster team. I know it's not the internationals, but it was a good, tough team, wasn't it?
Yeah. And the thing is, you have to get through the quarterfinal first, but for us, anything can happen in the semi-final. It's a drop of the ball, a penalty here, and you can win a big game.
And then once you're on the road, you stay on the road. Well,
no, you don't. There's because of the European Cups in between. I thought we were going to stay. No, we had to come back. The problem is there's going to be the travel arrangements after, because we don't know where we're going after. If we win our quarterfinal, we don't know where we're going. That'll be the challenge. Like after the European Cup, we didn't know after Harlequins till the Sunday night. That's going to be the challenge. But no, we come back. I think what excites me about this team is, Gav, is our game model can play anybody. It's not like we're not going to get scrummed by Leinster. You know what I mean? Our kicking games evolve. We can play after. We're not it's not like we're a team that has got a massive weakness anywhere. I feel like we can stand up to it. We can play any team. I mean, Leinster might be a better team, but it's not like we're going to get killed in the scrum or where the breakdown. We'll be able to contest that with So it's not like I think we can play anybody. I mean, let's see.
And also touch wood. I mean, if you don't get any more injuries, I mean, with the exception of Salman, and he's been well replaced by Ruben. With the exception of Salman, you're actually in that rare position of actually going into the final series with your full strength team.
I mean, the returns of, I mean, there were probably, if you said, looked at last season, you'd say, who are the three guys you can't be without? Or who were your three best players? Sorry, Steve, but of last were game breakers. It was Zas, Roos, and Dion Free. Yeah, and those are guys we have them all three playing in the. I hope you don't get injured tomorrow. Having them all playing in the quarters is massive for us. So we're almost our best roster. You're right. Samad for Ruben, which is a pretty even trade at the moment.
Cool.
Thanks very much, guys.
Catch you tomorrow.
Yeah. We better get out of here with Benetton on the right.
Yeah.
But